Noel Nation, welcome to the final FSU Voice of College Football post-game live of the season following the Orange Bowl against Georgia. The final score ended up being, I believe, 63-3. Tough one to watch, guys. For the folks of us out there that were kind of hoping to see that upset, get to see that defense, really keep this thing close up until the fourth quarter. Unfortunately, that did not get to happen. We were already going to have an extremely limited roster as it was, and then it became pretty evident in the hours leading up to the game, and then once you started seeing who was dressed on the sidelines and stuff, that even like a multitude of the starters who said that they were going to play, eventually when push came to shove, they ended up opting out, be it, Tatum Bethune had a procedure. A lot of them, I think that's the majority of the issue with the people who didn't hit the transfer portal and were still here. They had, treatment that normally would be done after the season. But long story short, Florida State gets whipped. But, we really saw some great things. And that's what we're going to do. As far as the positives of the night, Memphis natives, Brock Glenn looked pretty damn good. He really took a step forward. And look, man, you really start to see the difference in what could have been with a backup quarterback or even a third string quarterback with real time to prepare. And you've got to be happy, like, of the three quarterbacks that stayed. It makes sense why the other two guys left and Brock left. So I know you were definitely excited with Brock Glenn's play, huh? At least, is that something we can take from this, Jim?
I agree with you. Look, I saw a lot of fight in Brock. I mean, I know he had the interception, and I think he got fumbled for, or sacked for a fumble or hit for a fumble or whatever, strip, whatever. But look, that kid, those throws looked good. There was some good throws there. I can see now why absolutely Brock was going to overtake Tate Rodemaker. And I know I liked what I saw out of him. I did. I thought he had some balls. He had some nice throws. And you know what? This game sucked all the way around. And I absolutely get it. There's not a lot of positives that you can take out of this. But I that's a positive that I'm going to take out of it. I think Brock looks really good. I think imagine if if maybe a certain somebody had told the coaching staff that he was going to leave not 2 days before the game, but a month, and allowed Brock to practice with the ones.
Just imagine if he'd had the entire bowl prep, if they could have went into this thing, with Brock as that guy.
I had some people not liking what I said on Twitter, but here's the deal. The way Tate did it was wrong, and you can not like what I said. I haven't criticized any other player for hitting the portal. I haven't criticized any player for opting out. The way he did this was wrong. If he wanted to go, I get it. They were recruiting over him. I totally get that. But you should have allowed the team to practice with the quarterback that was going to play. That's all I'm going to say.
Absolutely. I think that's fair, and that was our only gripe with it. We had a little fun with the other show, but yeah, nothing too crazy, just really crappy timing on top of everything else. And like guys that you were expecting to play, like Fisk and Bethune and a lot of others. I saw Smooth Criminal Eye through the comment, 17 of 22 starters didn't play or something like that. At the end of the day, when it came down to, the majority of the game, we had one starter, and Kalen DeLoach was like the only starter pretty much. I think we had a couple on the offensive line, but then like both tackles went down. It was just a rough go of it as far as it goes, the starters. But again, to look on the bright side, Brock was doing everything that had us worried in the ACC championship. And I want to talk about this for a minute. In the ACC championship, and they talked about it a little bit, the announcers did. Mike Norville went into that game he wasn't trying to show what Brock Glenn could possibly be. He wasn't kind of trying to show what the offense could be in the playoffs. They were just trying to beat Louisville. So they did exactly what they had to beat Louisville. They weren't going to open it up. Oh, my goodness. Sorry, guys. They weren't going to open it up, let Brock Glenn, be in these terrible positions to lose the game for his team, anything like that. So, yeah, you didn't see a wham, bam, thank you, ma'am, crazy performance from him. You saw a lot of running the ball, a lot of safe stuff, and a great play by the defense. But in this game, man, I mean, he was letting that thing fly. If he'd had his starting wide receivers, who knows what this thing could have been. If we'd had our running backs, people are going to say what they're going to say online. But when I go back, especially watching that first quarter before depth started to come into play, when depth came into play, guys, it was over. But when you go back and watch that first quarter, there was some good stuff in there. I would have liked to seen Keziah Holmes get the ball a little bit more. Even though Ja'Kai Douglas did great, I'm a little confused. I saw some people on Twitter commenting like, dang, why has Douglas got more carries than Keziah Holmes? I thought the carries that Keziah did, even though there wasn't a ton of movement up front, he played pretty well. I thought Omar Graham had some good moments early, but ultimately in the game, our linebacker play, Georgia just ate up our linebacker play. Yep. I think that was the ultimate, Kalen came in, but not having Lundy and Tatum Bethune not being there on top of, and that linebacker play is just exaggerated by not having all the starting D-line in there. It was like when we came out, the starting four with Darrell Jackson, Pat Payton, that was a pretty good group. You saw them making some plays, but and it's like we talked about, it's just the depth. Once you got into the depth, it was going to be trouble. Like you had guys playing over their head. So like when you have true freshmen playing in that starter role, okay, who's going to take those other reps? That's the question.
Exactly.
So it was pretty tough, man.
Yeah, it was. But like I said, and maybe I'm just wearing my Memphis colored glasses with Brock, but man, I kind of saw something in him, and I liked it. I liked what I saw. I do.
Yeah, he was slinging it. I didn't see. Maybe I missed a little bit there towards the end of the third, beginning of the fourth, but I didn't see a bad ball all night. I saw him ripping that thing down the field, making good decisions, putting balls in some great spots. He had Morlock let him down. He had a beautiful throw to Morlock over the middle, and it kind of bounced off Morlock's hands. That was one of the interceptions. That was one of the plays that really broke it open early. You had some plays where guys are in the right spot, but they just showed their youth, man. That play where they tried a reverse pass or something, and it took with McConkey, they had it sniffed out, they beat it, they leveraged it and everything, but then they don't tackle, they don't wrap up, and that on that one particular play, Pat Payton made a pretty piss poor effort, and McConkey got past him and got to the end zone. It was just the kind of game it was.
Did you have to watch it with the volume down? Because I couldn't listen to those two. I mean, this was just.
Oh my goodness.
Honestly, it was.
The narratives are hilarious.
Yeah, it was just gross, and everybody. Oh well, they didn't belong. They didn't belong, and nobody is saying, well, guess what? They had no play. I mean. God, they were playing basically high schoolers. They trotted out a high school team, guys. That's what they did. Brock Glenn was going to the damn prom a year ago. I mean, can we? I don't know. That's just my thoughts. I'm just tired of all these narratives. I'm tired of people saying they didn't belong. They did belong. And again, okay, so before the game, I was thinking, well, I guess when they stopped him and had a turnover on downs, right? At the beginning, I'm thinking to myself, oh my God, what if they keep this close? Will the fans turn on the guys that opted out? That's what I was wondering. Will they say, what if they lost a close game? You know what I mean? Obviously, that didn't happen. I was just pondering that question. Is this going to get ugly then? And now I'm wondering, is it going to get ugly now? I don't think it will. I just don't.
Yeah, here's the thing that pissed me off when it came to the callers of the game. I will give it to Jesse. At least he did point out after the game was over, look, this wasn't the FSU team, and this isn't going to affect them going forward. They got, they've learned a moment stuff. But during the game, they kept harping on out, oh, well, Georgia, they did it the right way. They came together and they fought together. And Florida State, it's just sad. It's just how football is, this and that. It's like they never addressed the elephant in the room. So I'm going to address it here. Georgia lost the last week of the season. So hell yeah. All those seniors were like, yeah, let's go out here and get this bad taste out of our mouth. Let's go have a game to get some momentum going for the next year. They had a bunch of guys hit the portal just like we did, like the same amount. The only difference was the opt-out, the senior guys, the guys who were possibly going to the NFL. They had a lot of guys. Their NFL class that left last year, that was last year that they lost all those guys. They're not going to have a shit ton, 12 guys go to the NFL this year. Okay, that's the difference. They wanted to go out there. Florida State did everything. They accomplished everything. They won their conference championship. Had Georgia won the SEC championship, been 13-0, and got told, no, you don't get to the playoffs, you're going to the Orange Bowl, yeah, then you would have seen a little bit more opt-outs. It would have been a little bit different. So just the situation of the two teams was just completely different. Had we lost to Louisville, yeah, I think it would have been a little different. I think we would have had more, players, coming to, be accountable. This was kind of a silent protest. It is what it is. They weren't going to cancel the game. You wanted to get that bowl check for these young kids. The young kids, they needed the 15 practices, and say what you want. This was a big game for Brock Glenn. And Brock Glenn, it kind of pissed some people off in the Louisville game. He's pretty unflappable. He doesn't he's not going to get over there and get down on himself and start crying, oh, we lost. So, he really just picked up a bunch of positive snaps today. So that was my biggest thing. They just didn't address that, and it's pretty obvious. But yeah, the guys did what they could do. They made some plays. They didn't make some plays, so it is what it is. Guys, if you have any questions or anything you want us to address, anything from the broadcast, et cetera, put it in the comments.
All these comments, excuses. You didn't deserve to be in. This is so ridiculous. They had 40 players. I mean, how many players were out?
I don't know, Jen. A lot.
I don't.
We only have one starter, basically.
How is that an excuse, guys? What the hell do you want us to say? They trotted out a high school team. I don't. Am I wrong here? Playing against 4-year starters from Georgia that just won 2 national championships. What do you want them to do? Y'all are just dumb. I don't know what else is. That's just dumb. That's not excuses.
You're talking to trolls.
Yeah, that's just
what they came here to do. They just use.
That's insanity.
Can't listen to those dummies. But yeah, it was the worst beat down in the history of the bowl format. There was one team that had all their starters, a legitimate playoff team, against another team who had none of their starters. Literally, we had one starter in the game, and not the starters. We didn't have any of our second string, and barely any of our damn third string.
Nope.
What the hell?
Guys who had no playing time all year are just out there, and you're just oh well, they didn't deserve it. If you think this was the same team that would have trotted out for the playoffs, I don't know what to tell you. Maybe. Yeah. Maybe you need a helmet. Maybe you need a helmet to walk around in life. I don't know.
I saw somebody had a list of the people who didn't play. But just if you go down the list, we didn't have Jared Verse. Mm-hmm. We didn't have Braden Fisk. We didn't have Bless Harris. We didn't have DJ Lundy. We didn't have Akeem Dent. We didn't have Tatum Bethune. We didn't have Trey Benson. We didn't have Keon Coleman. We didn't have Johnny Wilson. Literally, we did not have a single starting playmaker. We didn't have Toafili. The only real kind of playmaker we had was number 4, Deloach, as a linebacker. But if you know anything about defense, you just can't, as one starting linebacker in the middle of a defense, there's only so much you can do. It's just, that's not how it works. You got to have every gap filled. So if you're one linebacker, you pick one of the 3 gaps, and then the running back was just going to bust through whichever one you weren't. They were running right at your straight pass rushing DN that you had to have out there basically all game, even in power run situations, because you didn't really have anybody else to stick out there but Byron Turner. I'm not even sure if Gilbert played. I don't even know if I saw Gilbert out there.
God, I think no wait. I think I don't know. I can't tell you that. I don't know. I think my eyes started to go cross, so I was like, I don't know. I tried. I was trying to be positive.
Yes, Fabian Lovett was also out.
Mm-hmm. Jerry Jones. I mean, it just, guys, like, all these takes are just, yeah, you're just trolls. I mean, there's just nothing else.
Yeah, try to not just highlight only the idiots. Let's talk about some of the smart people. We've got plenty of smart people in the chats too. Don't give our chat a bad name. You idiots, just keep on helping the algorithm. But guys like Jason O get it. It's not even worth addressing the trolls. They were waiting for today, and now they can dance around. They are showing their intelligence. Keep the receipts. Florida fans are the best. I love the meme I saw. It's like a Florida. It's a chick all dressed up in Florida, and they got their hands wrapped around the Georgia person with like their hand in their pockets and their head on their shoulder. It's like that's supposed to be your biggest rival outside of Florida State is Georgia, like even more than Miami because you don't play them. And it's so funny every year. It's Florida that's just bragging about Georgia's national championships or Georgia being able to beat Florida State. What happened when you played Florida State, Florida? Huh? How was your bowl game? I think they broke a record for the biggest margin in bowl history too. An infinite advantage. They didn't play anything.
Yeah, I mean, Florida and Miami fans are just sad. They lost to Rutgers in New York. Had to get on the subway, get off the subway, do all these things. Mario had to stop at Victoria's Secret, pick up a new, accessory, right? So yeah, they're just mad, and I get that Florida's mad. But Florida, you're probably gonna get Lane Kiffin next year, so y'all need to just stop. Just stop.
I'm gonna play this. This is a little clip, a pretty cool clip. That friend of the show, Logan B. Robinson. If you're not following him on X, it's at Logan's Twitty on X. But he posted an emotional clip from it's about a minute and something from Mike Norville. Let's listen to it.
First off, tonight was a very difficult night, and it's been a very difficult month. To be honest with you, but I'm proud of this football team. I'm proud of the work they put in. Proud of the what they've shown, throughout the course of the season, and to do some of the things that they were able to accomplish. They overcame a lot of adversity. They fought, they worked, they invested on and off the field. It's a special group. It's a group that will be remembered. And tonight, so I didn't do a good enough job of being able to help showcase, all of who they are. And, I take full ownership for all things that happened there on that field tonight. But when you come back to this season, it's because of them. It's because of their work. It's because of their heart, their spirit. The belief that they had in each other. For the third time in school history, 13 wins. To be able to win the ACC championship. And against a lot of odds of things that happened and things that occurred, and those guys just, they did respond in a special way. And for the guys that you played tonight, and this was their last game, I mean, what warriors? Kalen DeLoach, Dimitri Emanuel, Casey Roddick. I mean, there's James Rosenberry. There's a good number of guys that battled tonight, and they chose to come out here and compete. And it was a special group of young men that I had the opportunity to coach this season. And even though tonight was a different disappointing result, this is a special season that will be remembered in Florida State history. And
so there, from the head man himself, he couldn't have said it any better, and that's why we love Mike. Look, man, who wouldn't want to run through an absolute brick wall for that guy? Who would not want to come to Tallahassee to play for Mike Norville? None of this half-hearted, oh, we teach two hands on the football BS, or oh, well, we taught this, or all these excuses. Look, this wasn't his fault. He didn't get out-coached out there. That's not why Florida State lost this game. But he stands right there in the paint and takes it and puts it on his shoulders and just celebrates this team. And look, they're going to get their stuff together, and they're going to have to feel us in 2024. That's what I put on the group chat. We don't start off with some crazy hard schedule where we get beat up. We're going to absolutely have a chance to build next year. We're going to start off easy, and it's going to be a lot of fun. But the biggest thing now moving forward, the biggest question right now, everybody's still waiting on getting that quarterback in. But once we get that quarterback in, I think it's Cam Ward, Jen's leaning DJU. But if we can just get that in there, I think people are going to be really surprised and really happy, with how things start popping here in the next couple months. I think we've got through all the BS and all the heartbreak. I think we're going to start having some good news rolling in. And then I believe it's January 3rd, which will be sometime this coming week. I'm not sure the exact day, but Crouton, something Scorton is the kid's name. He is a defensive end from Purdue coming to visit Florida State. And man, that kid, he is the next Jared Verse. He's the next Jermaine Johnson. If you haven't checked him out, go check him out. And hopefully we can get our hands on him. And also, the Evan Stewart smoke had kind of died down from the time he had entered the portal, but rumors are gaining some traction there, and especially if we could get Cam Ward, I think we could really have a good shot at locking him down. But
I think
anything you want to add?
I think you're going to need to add Cam Ward to get that Evan Stewart traction going. That would be my guess. I mean,
yeah.
We'll see. I guess we'll see. I don't know.
For sure.
I'm just ready for it to be over. I kind of just want it to be done and over, I don't know. Any thoughts about when it will be? I have no idea.
Nope, we've been pretty clear with everybody on that.
Oh no.
The Cam Ward thing. I'm not gonna. Well, I guess you forced me to now. Yeah. So Cam Ward. I was trying to make Jen say it, but she's gonna make me say it.
I didn't.
The situation with Cam Ward is that basically they're working on a contract. It is what it is. They got to get him. They've got to get him in. That's all there is to it. They're also working on DJU again. Like I just said, I think Cam Ward's the guy. I think they got it working. But there's no timetable. We just got to wait. But this coaching staff, we talked about it on our channel the other day. They are completely tired of stuff getting leaked and, oh, well, this is a done deal and this person signed, they're silent and all this stuff. It's happened a dozen times where guys were supposedly going to sign, commit, all this stuff as recent as signing day. They put out a thing, saying Jeremiah Smith was a null when he really wasn't, all this stuff. So that's why you're not hearing a date or anything. But before the semester starts, we'll have our quarterback. Just know that. They have to pick before, I think, January 18th is when the semester starts. But that's about all there is to that.
I wasn't forcing you to say anything. I don't know. I guess I just wanted just kind of your thought. And I know we talked about it, but we're on a different channel. So
I know you got a ping pong paddle. I say, "What's your thoughts?" And you say, "I don't know." What's your thoughts?
I know, but I don't know. I don't have any thoughts.
We're both in the same boat. Believe me, it is what it is. But we got 35 more minutes to fill. So if you guys have any questions, get them up, and we will answer your questions. We're just gonna celebrate a great season, guys.
Yeah, guys, we were 13-0, and yeah, this game was god awful. I get it. Believe me, that was hard to watch. It was hard to get up here and get live for you guys, but we're doing it anyway. And I did my hair, I put on makeup, so y'all are just gonna enjoy it, okay? Like, just enjoy it, because
By
this takes a
God.
lot of work. This takes a lot of work, George. It does. And so I want you guys to just understand that this coaching staff, this team was deserving to be in the playoff. This should not be any sort of referendum on the team, on the coaching staff. They were dealt a horrendous hand. And again, or it shouldn't be on any player that opted out. Minus a couple, I understand this, but these kids were told their whole season didn't matter. Ones that played, started in games, were going to go to the NFL, were told everything they did didn't matter. And
Michigan Worth? Oh, my bad.
Oh, no, I was just saying, like, and these kids are going to go to the NFL, and they didn't want to come in this game that, again, they were told didn't matter, and get hurt. I mean, I don't blame any of them at all. So, I mean, there are some that are different than others. We understand that, but you got to understand what this season was. It was so special. I just remember how happy we were after the ACC championship game, right? Like, it was amazing to watch. What a coaching job to win that game. What a coaching job to rally that team. With the third string quarterback, poor Brock, had never started a game in his life. And you're talking about his first starts are the ACC championship game and then the Orange Bowl against Georgia and their starters. Are you kidding? I mean, I think Georgia was missing some. I think Georgia was missing some starters, but they had their starting quarterback. They had a lot of starters.
Like
they were not down.
They were missing a tight end and a linebacker. That's it.
Yeah, they were not down like we were down. Y'all just need to get over that.
No, that was a legitimate squad. That's the squad they would have brought to the college football playoff. Maybe Bowers would have played, but besides that, no, that was there. That was the Georgia squad. And you saw it in the first quarter. From what I saw in the first quarter, absolutely hands down, if we'd have had our guys, we could have competed in that game for four quarters and absolutely beat Georgia. There's no doubt. Let's talk about that. Auburn, who'd Auburn play? Maryland. They got absolutely destroyed. And it's like everybody, the Louisville loses a game or wins a close game. Clemson barely beats Kentucky. And it's like, oh, look, FSU's strength of schedule. Meanwhile, Auburn gets just absolutely handled.
And not a word. Not a word.
No problem. By a Maryland team who is like a 7-win Maryland team. It wasn't like it was some world beater or something. It definitely wasn't an Alabama that needed an absolute miracle.
What about what Arizona did to Oklahoma, who took down the mighty Texas?
Exactly. Nobody talks about Oklahoma going down. Brad Power says, let's talk about OSU. I didn't know Ohio State. I didn't even watch that game, but they got beat up by who? Who got them?
It wasn't a beat up. That was like 13-3 or something. It was
another block M. Who was it?
So, but I was told that those games were really ugly for these types of bowl games, right?
Right. It's always excuses for everybody but Florida State. That phone is not going to make it if I keep dropping it. But yeah, it's excuses for everybody but Florida State.
It's, I don't know. I just think that people are kind of counting out this team right now and saying rebuild, we're in shambles. No, this is an emotional reaction from people who worked their ass off for 13 games and got told they didn't matter. And then the backup quarterback decided a couple days before the game to just say, I'm out. This was not a good situation going in. When I saw that Farmer and Fisk were not playing this morning, I was like, oh, Lord.
Those are the ones that disappointed me. It was the guys that kind of made out like they were playing, and then it was just oh, we're not playing now.
Well, I mean, they probably got some advice back that said, hey, if you get hurt, you might be like a third, fourth round pick right now. But if you get hurt, you're going to drop. You see what I'm saying? So I can't blame them for that. I really can't.
No, hell no. In today's day and age, an injury, and we saw, I can't remember who, somebody recently was like a first round draft projection and just completely blew up their knee and their whole NFL career is over. Look, you can't blame the guys. You cannot. You just, it sucks. It absolutely sucks. Nobody wanted to see that. That was like pulling fingernails off those last 3 quarters of that game.
It was terrible, wasn't it?
It is what it is.
I mean, I find the losing to Rutgers in a bowl game crew and the 5-7 crew are sitting on their couch
with
making fun of it.
Their starters
are hilarious.
With their starters.
And Mario, went home with 2 timeouts again? I mean, y'all got to stop this. That's still going to be your coach next year, by the way, Miami fans. It's still going to be your coach. That ain't changing.
Some Miami fans are starting to get tired of it. Some are still holding out faith. They didn't like my tweet today.
Yeah, I can't wait to watch the Hot Seat Bowl on August 31st of 2024. I can't wait to watch it. I'm going to be front row.
That is going to be an ugly, ugly affair.
Can't wait.
Yeah, I definitely can't wait to see that one. Check that out. I don't even know. That's a cool icon. I didn't put that up there, but I like it. It's Florida State style. Look at that. Dang, I might just do it. I'm going to do this the rest of the show, Jim. That way I don't even have to face the audience. No, I'm just kidding. I'll be back in just a second. But yeah, it is what it is. Going to next year, though, we got some pieces now. That Darrell Jackson, especially, when he was fresh early, he was making a difference up there. And Pat Payton, he's going to be a freak moving forward. We've got some pieces. The thing with Keziah Holmes really trips me out. I don't get it. I don't get why he didn't get more carries and that they were insistent on running it with Douglas.
I agree with you.
It's been all year. Do they not trust him or something? He's the only running back left, and they're still finding other options to run the damn ball.
I mean,
maybe I'm wrong. Maybe we're all buffaloed about him, and maybe they're just gonna have to go bring somebody in to go over him. Because also, I didn't. It is what it is. How about Ja'Kai Douglas? Let's give him some flowers. You talk about a guy who's been here forever and just a clutch performer and always there when you need somebody to make a play. That dude was all over the place tonight. It was a lot of fun to watch. He ran that damn the Wildcat pretty damn good too.
Yeah, I
thought he was gone that one time.
Oh, I did too. I really did. I did. And he got caught up at the 40, 50 or the 40.
Something like that. He was almost through the hole.
Yeah.
Sorry. I don't know what he was about to say. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, you didn't. I just need to stay out of these comments because, I'm going to get triggered in a minute. And if my mouth starts to go off, we're going to get in trouble here on the internet.
Yeah, so please don't look at the comments then if you can't separate the trolls because you're going to get pissed off for sure.
I'm joking. I can separate them. It's all good.
No, we can pick on them. We just can't go off quite as hard as we do on our channel. Y'all come talk that mess on the Renegade report. We're not quite as PG-13 as the Mark Rogers Network, which we absolutely love. And this has been an absolute blast. And while I think about it, this show is brought to you by TicketSmarter.com. You can get the app from TicketSmarter.com, and there's 2 awesome promo codes you can use through the Voice of College Football. Big and Big 20. The promo code BIG will get you $10 off your purchase of $100 or more, and the promo code BIG 20 will get you $30 off your purchase of $300 or more. And you can't just use those once. It's not like you use it once for the $10, once for the $30. No, Those are unlimited. You can use those over and over and over again as many times as you want. So go get the ticketsmarter.com. Go get the app. That's the way to get all your tickets for your games, concerts, anything like that. Do not buy tickets from these comment sections, from Twitter, Facebook. You will get scammed every time. Go to ticketsmarter.com, get the app, and use the promo codes BIG and BIG20. Let's see here. If you guys have any questions or comments or anything you want to talk about, throw it up in the YouTube comments and we will address it. Oh. But outside of that, if you want to get your troll off, if that's what makes you feel good, you can do that too.
Mm-hmm. All right, so tell me, who was your standout performer? Because, I mean, I still say it would be Brock for me. I thought it was Brock.
Yeah, I mean, that was... There's not like you're going to have an MVP. All you can do is kind of take the positives from it. And I think absolutely Brock Glenn was the far and away the biggest positive you can take from the game. I mean, that was huge experience for him. He was like really took a step in his confidence. He was, ripping the ball down the field, making throws. He had all the confidence in the world. His pocket presence was a lot better. He did a lot better floating in the pocket, rolling out, getting the ball out on time. And hell, he had 2 or 3 drops. And that's another thing. You want to talk about our loss? It was only 2 points worse than TCU's. And that was with their starters. Everybody, their quarterback, their whole team together. What do you think the score would have been if we'd had our whole squad together? It wouldn't have been a 60-point thumping. That's for damn sure. You saw for the 2 series that our defense was fresh, what it looked like against Georgia, and it was right there with them. We just did not have the depth. That's all there is to it. We didn't have our guys.
And I mean, do you mean if Jordan was playing, or do you mean if Brock was allowed the month to get ready instead of being snowed over?
I don't give a shit if anybody, if we had a damn linebacker at quarterback, period. Just our defense. They wouldn't have scored 30 points on our defense, period.
So you're saying if all the defensive starters were playing. Is that what you mean?
Period. The starters.
Okay.
Just
I get it.
The whole team.
Yeah, I really feel bad. I wish that Brock was given the opportunity with the month to practice and get ready. I think some defensive players got hurt and some opted out because they were going to go to the NFL, which is totally fine. I absolutely get that. But I just wish that, maybe some kids wouldn't have gotten hurt, right? That's all we can say. I mean, I don't really have much else to say about that without sounding like a jerk. I mean, look, I love all these kids. I only have one bad thing to say for someone opting out. That's it. One bad. And it's the way they did it, not because they did it. That's how I feel about it. I don't know.
Again, guys, if you have any questions or anything to say besides the dumbass troll, you can put it in the comment section and we will address it on the show. Let's see. Have you heard any fun news about the Big Ten? Any new rumors dealing with any of that stuff? I know you watch all these shows and you went on. You've been on a couple of them.
So yeah, I mean, I think Florida State's going to the Big Ten. I think everybody knows that now. I don't even think I think the only people who are still trying to wrap their heads around it are the idiots at ESPN. Because they're losing a moneymaker. They're losing a moneymaker in the ACC network. So they're not ready to wrap their heads around that. But I think anybody who pays attention knows what's going on here. There's going to be a power two. There's going to be a power two. And Florida State's going to be a part of it. And I hate to break that news to anybody. Even Josh Pate had a video tonight, right before we came on. Y'all can go look if you want to. It's right there. And he's like, I never see a situation where Florida State's not going to be at the head of the table in a Power 2 conference. So
no,
if Josh
absolutely.
Fate,
This audience
like,
has seen hours and hours. We've had dozens of these conversations for sure. They're hit.
yeah,
We're going to the Big Ten, yeah, for sure. Everybody knows it. Just all we're doing is waiting to find out about Discovery. Is it going to be Discovery, or are we going to take this bit? Almost cursed. Or are we going to take this thing to trial? Are we going to take this thing to trial, or are they going to?
I
What's
think
the
they
word I'm looking
settle.
for? Are
I
they
think
going
they
to
settle.
settle? And are they going to settle for 120 million? Or are they going to settle for 250 million? Or are they just going to be nothing? Are they just going to say whatever? Just we don't want our dirty laundry. Y'all can go and just turn us loose. That's the
My
question.
my guess is between 110 and 120 million. That's what I think.
we agree there. But
Yeah,
why that?
because that's the exit fee. I think they're
Right.
going to settle on the exit fee and give up the grant of rights because of the way those grant of rights were worded with ESPN being able to opt out in 2027. I think you can't enforce something if the other party is able to get out scot-free and then tell the other side you have to pay for it to 2036. So I mean, that's just my thoughts. I think you're going to get out of the grant of rights a little bit. They may have to negotiate. It could be about 150 to negotiate some of that grant of rights up until 2027. That wouldn't surprise me if they do that. But I don't think they're. Yeah, I think it's going to be a settlement. I don't think any powerful people want all that information getting out, and on both sides, guys. This is on both sides. I don't think Florida State wants it out. I don't think ESPN or the ACC want anything out either. That's all I'm going to say.
I'm on the other end. I think that FSU absolutely wants it out. I think the people that were at FSU are they were wrapped up in it and part of the conspiracy just as bad. One of them's the head of the ACC, or one's the head of the NCAA or the VP, and I don't even want whatever his damn name is. And there's others that have gone places, and I want that whole Raycom thing to come out. That's the whole center of this thing, the seedy underbelly. There was some money changed hands, and it wouldn't surprise me one bit if there was people that were on FSU's administration, a state university at that time, that somehow took bribes or took jobs within Raycom, went from Florida State to within Raycom or the ACC or the NCAA, which we obviously know with Wilcox that he is the VP of the NCAA. So that's my kind of angle on Discovery from our end, that I think it would be just fine. But yeah, outside of that, we agree 100%. Chris Gentry comes in with the super chat. We really appreciate you, brother. Booger McFarland said on Twitter today, Florida State can lose 75-3. Doesn't change the fact they should have been in the playoff. And the 23 opt-outs, 12 to 13 starters would have played. Yeah, absolutely. There's no doubt that the whole narrative around the fact that somehow anything that could have possibly happened in this game meant that Florida State should have been left out is just absolutely idiotic. It's the opposite. You're talking about the egg or the chicken here. No, Florida State won its 13th game. Georgia lost theirs. So when you lose, yeah, it's like, okay, you obviously understand. They literally had a playoff game. So they wanted to come out and leave on a good note. They wanted to go out on a win. All those seniors, everybody who opted out, those 17, 18, 19 starters that weren't out there playing, they went out on a high note. They won their last game. Like, it's a complete and totally different situation. And to compare the two is just, it's just trolling. That's all it is. So it's like, I'm trying to think of something to compare it to, but I can't think of anything to compare it to. So.
You really can't. It's so unprecedented. That's why you don't have anything to compare it to.
On one hand, they say, oh, well, you lost one player, so you're kicked out of the whole playoff. You would never stand a chance with one player out. Yet somehow, with 30 players, 40 players out, you're supposed to go out there and be able to prove that you're a playoff team. With one player out, you're no good. You're automatically disqualified. You don't even get a chance to prove yourself. But now that you have 40 out, now go out there and prove yourself. I mean, just think of how idiotic that is. I mean, it's just
everything they say is idiotic.
There is nothing there. Yes, we did get our butt beat. That happened. But yeah. No, we're not going to validate trolls by saying their name on the channel. That's not how we roll. And we appreciate everybody in the chat. We appreciate all the super chats. We appreciate the entire season hanging out with us right here at the Voice of College Football. Me for the whole season. Jen kind of got started. What was this year? What was the first game you did? Was it UNA?
I think
or was it the Miami game? Did you do the Miami game?
It was UNA. It was. No, I didn't.
That would have been a tough one. But yeah. Anyway, she's been here for 3 or 4 games.
It was UNA. Mm-hmm.
I haven't talked to Mark yet. We haven't signed a contract or anything, but we'll see. Who knows? Probably wouldn't doubt it if you see us two right back here for the next season. But man, it has sure been a blast being with you guys all season. And if you're not already following Jen on X, go do that. Let's go run her numbers up. It's at JenSanti1890 on X. And if you are not subscribed to the Renegade Report YouTube channel, go do that right now. It's at the Renegade Report, and you can catch me and Jen every Tuesday, Friday, and Sunday every week. Tuesday, Friday, and Sunday. The times are they move around because news breaks. Sometimes we want to go a little early, or we're waiting on news, so we'll go a little later. But generally, it's around 6, 7 Eastern, Tuesdays and Fridays, and then our Sunday show is normally always around noon. So catch us over there. It's super simple. At the Renegade Report, you can go subscribe. You can become a member to be eligible for all the different cash giveaways. Look, spring game, we're going to be doing tailgate stuff. We usually help with the Dim Media Group, Spear Addicts, Doke Talk, Tailgate. Who knows, maybe we can start, being a part of that kind of stuff. But regardless, you'll be able to come hang out with us, meet us. We've got all kind of different stages of the memberships over there, so go check all that stuff out. But anyways, Brad Powers, our friend, comes through with a super chat, $4.99. It's kind of like when your first girlfriend breaks up with you. It just sucks. Oh my gosh, Brad must be in the sauce tonight. He's calling somebody out on the channel.
No, nobody I know.
Jen said we are not going there.
Nobody I know. Or me.
Phil, I listened to y'all yesterday. I heard the predictions. I thought y'all were talking with your fandom. No way we were going to win that game. Well, if you did hear the show, then you would have heard me literally saying before I made those predictions that it was, in fact, me picking with my fandom, and how that I had really trolled a couple people during the season, especially the Duke guys, maybe Locked On Duke. I can't remember. One of those Duke podcasts, we had one of the guys on, and I kind of made fun of them because when they played us, they all sat there and said all the reasons they were going to lose, and then they picked picked Duke. So yeah, we kind of did the same thing, but 13-0. I picked them all year to win, just literally picking them, thinking they were going to win the game. So we picked one with our hearts there, hoping the defense could hang in there. And with all honesty, it wasn't supposed to be like this either. If you watch the show, we also talked about Braden Fisk was going to play.
Yep.
We were hoping to see him be able to slide outside some. We also thought Tatum Bethune was going to play, a dude who's a rocket out of the backfield who could have made some big plays on the quarterback. But when you have one linebacker, we just couldn't do. We couldn't man our responsibilities, get home quick enough. We just couldn't do the things we thought we were going to be able to do. We thought our defense, our front seven, for the most part, was going to be there outside of Jared Verse, and it just wasn't. Farmer didn't play. We thought Farmer was going to play. He was out. So, yeah, it is what it is. Guys, we're not going to harp on it.
Do we know why Farmer was out? Is he hurt? I don't know. I didn't see anything about it.
If I had to guess, that's another one where there was a procedure or something. I'm not sure.
Yeah, okay. I mean, I think Fisk was hurt. I think he got injured and just couldn't go, or, didn't want to risk a further injury, which I don't blame him. He's going to the NFL. it just wasn't something we saw coming, I guess. So, yeah. And we're fans, guys. There's this big surprise. There's a big surprise there. You know, it is what it is.
Oh, yeah, it is getting close to Happy New Year. So, yeah, Happy New Year's. Hope everybody had a Merry Christmas out there. Man, this year, it has flown by. Feels like just this time yesterday, you know, we're in FSU spaces talking about what this year is going to be like. And I'm telling everybody how awesome Conrad Hussey is going to be and all this good stuff. And we're priming up the JT13 Heisman campaign. But prediction for next season. Well, we can do that. We'll let Jen start off with that. Talk for a few minutes. What do you think about next year? What are we going to do?
I would say, oh God. I think, you know what? All right, I'm going to go based off of if we have DJU as quarterback because that has been my prediction. So let me go from there. I would say win the ACC 10-2. Top, you know, they're going to make the playoff, but they're not going to get a home bye. You know, they're going to get a bye on that. And, okay, wait, you know what? No, we get to play Miami at Miami, right? So never mind. I say 10-1.
10-1? Oh, you're short again.
No, wait. 11-1. 11-1. Win the ACC. Wait a minute. Where am I going with this? No. 12-1. That's right. I forgot. They've added all these games. I can't think.
Well, you got 12 regular seasons games, and then you got the conference championship.
Yeah. So, but I think they lose one.
11-1 regular season, and then go to the ACC championship. Yep. Who else do you think gets there? Who do you think we play in the title game?
I'm gonna say Louisville again.
It makes sense, man. They're loading up. They had all that momentum. It was just year one of Jeff Brom. But a lot of times, you see the second year, you can have a sophomore slump, if you will. But who do you think we take the one loss to? Somebody in the chat thinks it's Notre Dame.
Oh, I disagree on that. 100% disagree on that. Okay. Who's the one loss to? You know what? Hang on. Let me go look at the schedule. I had this earlier, but, you know, my mind's gone a little wonky.
Tonight, it's allowed. It's allowed.
I know. God. And, like, it's been Christmas. It's been.
Curious to see what Clemson's going to look like next year. If they're going to return back to their winning ways. If that bowl win gives them a little momentum.
So. Did you watch them playing up? I mean, that bowl game was fun as shit, but that offense looked, whoa. I mean, Kentucky lost that game, guys. Like, they lost that game. Let's see. Hang on. All right.
Yeah, Miami says they're going to win the ACC every year, guys. Don't fall.
Every year. Oh, wait. God. Actually, I mean, oh, shit. Shoot. I don't. Okay, never mind. Undefeated next year. I'm sorry. Have you seen this schedule?
Oh, yeah. Basically, Notre Dame is the only, you know. Who do we draw from the other side? Do we play North Carolina?
North Carolina. And Max Johnson? Are you kidding? No. And we know Mac Brown is secretly on the payroll for Florida State anyway.
He's never beat Florida State, has he?
No.
Has Mac Brown ever beat Florida State? I don't think he has.
No.
I don't believe he has.
It's yeah,
the All Canes Conference every offseason. The offseason champs.
Look at these losers. They just lost to Rutgers and are just in here on a Saturday night because they have no life because all they do is live on the internet. It's really sad, guys. Like, maybe get out of your house. Go outside. Go to your own games. Stop living on the internet. I mean, this is the saddest thing I've ever seen as Miami fans. They are just, it's so hilarious.
Gotta love it. Hey.
I mean, do you see them? Okay, let's ask. Do you see them losing to Georgia Tech?
Who's that? Florida State? No, hell
Yeah,
no. We're not
okay.
losing to Georgia Tech.
And I love my Memphis Tigers, but do you see them losing to Memphis?
Nope.
Nope. Notre Dame, I don't see that. Charleston Southern, nope. Florida, nope. Not. That's something Miami does. Boston College, nope. Cal, nope. Clemson, no. North Carolina, absolutely not. I mean, Miami, no. SMU, no. So again, I mean, I don't know what to say.
It is a very favorable schedule. Do we not have Clemson? You didn't say Clemson.
I did say Clemson. I said I didn't see them losing to them. Yeah.
Okay, I didn't hear that one.
Yeah, I just don't. I mean, they're going to be at Florida State this year. I just don't see it. I mean, I could be wrong, but I guess if I'm going to say one loss, I would say Clemson, but it's at home, so that's a hard one for me. I don't know. What do you think? What do you think, George? You tell me.
I'm not ready to make a prediction, but I think looking at it, you
may make a prediction, but you don't want to make one?
9-3 with 10-2 more likely than 8-4 would be like if you're doing a win total perspective, like a Vegas thing. But no, absolutely, it's just I don't know. We'll have to see who we get at quarterback and everything else, but I can definitely see us repeating ACC champions next year for sure.
No, I'm not in an interrogation room, and no, I'm not drunk. I'm sorry, guys. I hate to break that to you. Man, they're so mean to women on these podcasts. It's hilarious.
You got to stop looking at the trolls and reacting to them.
I know.
Silver Cloak, did your team beat FSU? Yeah, that's what I thought. We got Till Dog in the comments, taking care of them for us. But guys, we are getting towards the end of our hour here. If you have any questions or anything you're wondering about, anything you want to hear about from me and Jen before we get out of here, now is the time. Speak now or forever hold your peace. If you have a legitimate question, and throw it in the comments. We will throw it up here, and we will talk about it. But yeah, we will certainly have a target on our back. We will get everybody's best shot. But when you don't have that big, again, like I mentioned earlier, we don't have that big, get your whole team beat up in week 1 game this year. We just don't have it. We'll be out of town, so we'll have to deal with jet lag and stuff like that. But you heard Jen, there is no boogeyman on that schedule. You're going to have tough games with Clemson and Notre Dame. But besides that, you're going to be favored for sure in all the rest of your games, and still likely to be favored versus either Notre Dame or Clemson, depending on who you get at quarterback and how all that stuff goes. This thing, a lot of people out there have it stuck in their mind, and I saw some idiots in the thing talking about, oh, we saw your team tonight that's going to be playing next year. No, you didn't. We saw no starters. There are a lot of starters that are coming back next year that were not playing tonight. Toa Feely, guys like Josh Farmer. There's, and that's just the first 2 on the tip of my tongue, but there's plenty of them coming back. And that offensive line, that's a positive we can take out of that game. We haven't mentioned that the whole show, but I was extremely proud of what that offensive line did against that starting Georgia unit. They looked damn good for what they had out there, especially losing 2 tackles. Brock got lit up, but he also had time to throw quite a bit. But yeah, it seems like most people in the chat agree that it's just pretty much Notre Dame and Clemson are the 2 games to worry about, and those aren't 2 big games to worry about. Those are 2 games that I trust Mike Norville to get in there and get done.
Especially Notre Dame. Clemson will pull out all the stops, and the conference will pull out all the stops for Clemson. Well, I guess for Notre Dame too, if you think about it. You know, they love them some Notre Dame. They're getting paid for doing nothing.
Yeah.
You know,
the ACC just let Notre Dame bend them over. It's an absolute joke. Absolute joke. But we sure appreciate everybody joining us. Doesn't look like anybody has any questions. Just a bunch of trolling and stuff like that in the comments. But look, go over to ticketsmarter.com. Get the app. Get all your tickets from ticketsmarter.com. Concerts, football games, stuff like that. Use the promo code BIG and the promo code BIG20. The promo code BIG is for your purchases of $100 or less, or $100 or more. You get $10 off. Big 20 for purchases of $300 or more, you get $20 off. That's ticketsmarter.com. Go download the app, get all your tickets from there. Also, go follow Jen at Jen Santy 1890 on X. Go follow me at Renegade Report 1 on X. Go to renegadereport.substack.com. You can check out our writer Matt Champion. He has all kind of good articles coming. He's told me recently he's like really fired up. He's going to start doing maybe a article a day. I'm going to get writing more now that the season's over. So get over there to renegadereport.substack.com. Check that out. And of course, at the Renegade Report right here on YouTube. Go subscribe, become a member, do all that good stuff. Be in all those cash giveaways and find out what's going on next. Everything in Noel Nation. And of course, every Wednesday right here, FSU Voice of College Football. You can catch me, Mark Rogers, James Coleman, Chris Frazier of Spear Addicts. Every Wednesday for that Voice of College Football live stream. That will not be stopping just because the season's over. We'll keep on running with that. And if Jen doesn't have anything, that's going to be it.
Yep.
All righty. Well, we love you all. Noel Nation, until next year, we're signing off for the FSU Voice of College Football post-game show.
Thank you.